Listen to me, Darkness. You won't get out of this cave without my help.
Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some much hyped free indie games because who doesn't love free stuff, right? And trust me, this isn't just about grabbing random games that cost $0. We're talking about indie gems that'll make your Steam Deck truly shine. Whether you're in the mood for intense card battles, pixelated dungeon crawls, or idle clickers to satisfy that need for some mindless tapping, I've got something for everyone. From strategic brain burners to good old-fashioned chaos, this list has you covered without breaking the bank. So grab your deck, plug in those headphones, and let's dive into these free indie games you just have to play. If you are excited as we are about today's topic, show some love by liking and subscribing to Retro Pocket for more amazing content. HoloCure. Ever wonder what would happen if your favorite HoloLive VTubers suddenly found themselves in a battle for survival? Well, HoloCure is here to answer that question, and it's an absolute blast. This free indie game blends the chaos of a roguelike with the charm of HoloLive, creating an addictive loop of dodging, shooting, and unlocking new characters. The gameplay revolves around surviving waves of enemies while playing as your favorite HoloLive characters, each equipped with their own hilarious and powerful attacks. Whether you're mowing down enemies with lasers, throwing virtual items, or summoning companions, HoloCure has enough variety to keep you hooked. On the Steam Deck, this game feels right at home. Its retro pixel art style makes it visually appealing on the deck's screen, and the controls are super responsive, perfect for when things get a little too chaotic, which, let's face it, is all the time. The best part? It's perfect for pick-up-and-play sessions, whether you're grinding for upgrades or unlocking new characters in your lunch break. The creators of HoloCure are actual fans of HoloLive, and they've packed the game with fun references and inside jokes. So, if you're a HoloLive fan, you'll be grinning from ear to ear as you battle hordes of enemies while hearing familiar sound bites from your favorite VTubers. It's free, it's chaotic, and it's absolutely charming. What more could you want? Snake Force. Let's face it, we all played Snake on those ancient Nokia phones at some point. Now imagine taking that classic gameplay and turning it into a tactical shooter. Enter Snake Force. You lead a squad of soldiers in a snake-like formation, and as you collect more members, your team grows in size and firepower. The twist? You've got to strategically weave your way through intense top-down combat missions, dodging enemy bullets while returning fire. It's fast-paced, chaotic, and strangely satisfying as your Snake Squad slithers its way to victory. Snake Force plays like a dream on the deck. The controls are tight, which is essential when you're trying to dodge bullets with a literal snake of soldiers following you. The quick levels and colorful visuals make it a great game for on-the-go gaming. Plus, since each mission doesn't take too long, it's the perfect time killer when you need a quick gaming fix. If you're playing Snake Force on your commute, be warned. This game has a tendency to make you physically dodge when things get intense. Don't be surprised if people start wondering why you're leaning side to side on the train. Halls of Torment. If you've ever longed for the days of pixelated dungeon crawlers where every step felt like a gamble, Halls of Torment will feel like a homecoming. This game puts you in the middle of an endless dungeon filled with monsters that want nothing more than to see you perish. It's a brutal mix of old-school action RPG mechanics with roguelike elements thrown in for good measure. The gameplay focuses on hack-and-slash combat, looting gear, and trying to survive waves of enemies that get progressively more challenging. Imagine Diablo meets Dark Souls, but with a heavy dash of pixelated nostalgia. Halls of Torment feels like it was made for this device. The controls are responsive, allowing for precise movement as you dodge, slash, and loot your way through the dungeon. The pixel art pops beautifully on the deck's screen, and the retro sound design adds a layer of immersion that'll take you right back to the 90s. Whether you're playing in short bursts or sinking hours into dungeon crawling, Halls of Torment will have you saying, "Just one more run." The game's developers intentionally designed it to mimic the look and feel of 90s-era RPGs. So if you've ever felt nostalgic for the days of old-school dungeon crawlers, this game will scratch that itch in the best way possible. Try again. If at first you don't succeed well, in try again, that's kind of the point. This brutally difficult platformer will have you biting your nails, yelling at the screen, and, of course, trying again. The game is all about precision. Each level is a gauntlet of traps and obstacles, requiring split-second timing and flawless execution. Sure, you'll fail a lot, but the sense of satisfaction when you finally conquer a level, it's worth every frustrating second. It's like Super Meat Boy on steroids, and if you've got a masochistic streak, you're gonna love this one. The game plays buttery smooth, and the controls are as tight as they need to be for a game that demands perfection. On the deck, you'll find yourself getting into the zone, attempting the same level over and over, and when you finally beat it, you'll feel like you've scaled a mountain. The best part? You can rage quit anywhere since it's portable. Keep a stress ball nearby. This game will test your patience like no other. And remember, deep breaths. You've got this. Probably. Gun Devil. If there's one thing better than being a devil, it's being a devil with guns. Gun Devil throws you into a fast-paced bullet hell where you, as the titular devil, must blast your way through hordes of enemies in a visually stunning, hellish landscape. The gameplay is as chaotic as it sounds, dodging waves of projectiles, unleashing over-the-top attacks, and trying to survive in this frantic shooter. If you love bullet hell games, this one cranks it up to 11. On the Steam Deck, Gun Devil is an absolute adrenaline rush. The action is fast-paced and smooth, with no frame drops to distract you from dodging enemy fire. The handheld's controls feel perfect for the game's bullet-dodging chaos, making every moment feel like you're hanging on by a thread, which is exactly what you want in a game like this. The developers were heavily inspired by anime like Devilman Crybaby and classic arcade shooters when designing Gun Devil. So if you've ever dreamed of unleashing hell on Earth, this is the game for you. Jaded. Jaded is not your typical platformer. It's a deeply emotional journey wrapped in hand-drawn visuals and a melancholy soundtrack. The game follows a protagonist who's, well, jaded by life. The gameplay is simple. Explore beautifully drawn environments, solve puzzles, and uncover the story as it unfolds. But the real draw here is the narrative, which deals with themes of loss, mental health, and finding hope in dark times. It's not exactly a feel-good game, but it's definitely a game that'll make you feel. Playing Jaded on the Steam Deck feels oddly personal. The hand-drawn art and introspective storytelling hit a little different when it's just you and your handheld device. The controls are intuitive, and the short levels make it easy to pick up and play in small bursts. That said, you might find yourself getting a little lost in the game's story and atmosphere, so don't be surprised if what was supposed to be a quick session turns into hours of emotional introspection. This is the kind of game best played late at night, curled up on the couch with a cup of tea. Just be prepared for some feels. This one's going to hit you right in the heart. Grimhook. Now this game kind of combines platforming, grappling, and a dark fantasy world into a thrilling roguelike experience. Armed with a hook, you'll be swinging through levels filled with deadly traps, nightmarish creatures, and enough dark fantasy lore to keep you on edge. The gameplay is fast and fluid, with an emphasis on skillful grappling to traverse the levels and avoid certain doom. It's one part Castlevania, one part Bionic Commando, and all parts awesome. The pixel art style looks great on the deck's screen, and the challenging gameplay is perfect for handheld gaming sessions. Every time you nail a tricky swing or avoid an enemy attack, you'll feel like a dark, fantasy Spider-Man. The game was inspired by classic platformers but incorporates modern roguelike elements to keep each run fresh and exciting. So, if you're looking for a challenging platformer with a dark twist, Grimhook is ready to reel you in. SCP Secret Laboratory. Ready to dive into the world of the SCP Foundation? SCP Secret Laboratory is a multiplayer horror game set in the twisted universe of SCPs, those anomalous entities that exist just beyond the edge of reality. You'll play as either a member of the Foundation trying to contain these horrifying creatures, or one of the SCPs themselves, hunting down the poor souls tasked with stopping you. It's intense, it's terrifying, and the unpredictable nature of each match makes every game unique. The multiplayer aspect runs smoothly, and the controls are responsive, which is essential when you're running for your life from an SCP creature. Plus, the handheld format adds an extra layer of immersion. You might even feel like you're trapped in those eerie, dimly lit hallways yourself. The SCP Foundation is an entire community-driven collaborative writing project, and SCP Secret Laboratory takes some of the most famous SCPs and brings them to life. Just remember, when you hear an SCP coming, it's probably already too late. If on a Winter's Night for Travelers. This game is a hauntingly beautiful point-and-click adventure with an eerie, gothic atmosphere that draws you in from the moment you start. The game revolves around 4 travelers on a mysterious train, each with their own dark story to tell. The narrative is the star here, with each vignette pulling you deeper into a world of unsettling truths and eerie surprises. It's more of an interactive novel than a traditional game, but if you love a good story, you'll be hooked. On this device, the slow-paced gameplay makes it a perfect fit for handheld play. You'll find yourself absorbed in the atmosphere, unraveling each character's mystery while appreciating the stunning pixel art and haunting soundtrack. Plus, the controls are simple, making it easy to relax and enjoy the narrative without any added stress. The game's title is a nod to Italo Calvino's novel, If on a Winter's Night a Traveler, and the developers aim to capture a similarly surreal, mysterious vibe. Mission accomplished, we'd say. Moonring. Moonring is an open-world, turn-based RPG that takes its inspiration from old-school classics like Ultima. You'll be exploring a vast, procedurally generated world filled with dungeons, monsters, and magical secrets. The twist? Every playthrough is different thanks to the procedural generation. This game mixes strategy, exploration, and storytelling into a package that feels both nostalgic and fresh. Moonring runs like a charm. The retro-style graphics suit the handheld perfectly, and the turn-based combat is easy to control on the go. Whether you're slaying monsters or exploring new areas, the Steam Deck's portability makes it easy to lose yourself in the world of Moonring. Plus, with every playthrough being different, you'll never run out of new adventures to embark on. Moonring is a spiritual successor to classic RPGs, bringing the charm and challenge of retro gaming to modern platforms. If you've ever felt nostalgic for the days of grid-based exploration, this game will take you on a trip down memory lane. Night of Full Moon. Red Riding Hood, but make it dark and strategic. Night of Full Moon takes you on an epic journey where you guide Little Red through a mystical forest filled with enemies and challenges. But this time, instead of your usual basket of goodies, you're armed with a deck of cards. You'll need to outsmart witches, wolves, and all manner of creepy creatures to find Red's missing grandmother. The card-based gameplay brings depth, letting you build custom decks to defeat enemies, each with unique strategies and combos that will have you obsessing over every decision. This beautifully eerie game is surprisingly immersive with its dark fairy tale art style and a brooding soundtrack that sets the tone for each encounter. You won't just be battling for victory, you'll be engrossed in Red's journey, trying to outmaneuver opponents with wits and card synergy. Ever feel like the big bad wolf has a trick up his sleeve? There's more to this game than meets the eye. Red's journey can branch into different paths based on your choices, and each playthrough might give you something new. Did you know Night of Full Moon was developed by Giant Network as a small passion project that blew up thanks to its depth? Now it's one of the most downloaded free card games out there. Sky Children of the Light. Prepare to take flight. In Sky Children of the Light, you're a child of light, soaring through ethereal skies and breathtaking landscapes. Your mission? To collect fallen stars and return them to the heavens. Sounds peaceful, right? Well, it is. This game takes the term relaxing to the next level. Developed by the minds behind Journey, it focuses on exploration and the pure joy of flight, all while solving environmental puzzles alongside fellow players who can help you on your journey. Think of it as a beautiful, interactive meditation. This isn't your typical action-packed game, and that's what makes it perfect for chill gaming sessions. The minimalist controls let you effortlessly glide through colorful skies, unlocking secrets and sharing moments with other players. The development team used cutting-edge lighting and particle effects to make the skies look as magical as possible, pushing the limits of game visuals on handheld platforms like no other game has done before. Pixelitos Spritle Royale. Pixel warfare at its finest, Pixelitos Spritle Royale isn't your average battle royale. Forget photorealistic graphics and massive maps. This is an intense, pixelated showdown where reflexes rule the battlefield. It's fast, chaotic, and brimming with adorable carnage as you fight to be the last pixel standing. The beauty of Pixelitos lies in its simplicity. It's easy to pick up but difficult to master, especially when you're sprinting across the battlefield, dodging attacks and trying to outwit your opponents. The quick matches are perfect for those with short attention spans or busy schedules. There's no room for camping here. It's all about keeping on the move, grabbing weapons, and turning your enemies into pixel dust in seconds. What makes it even more fun is the unpredictable nature of every match, where pixel combat can turn into a chaotic free-for-all in the blink of an eye. This indie game was created during a 48-hour game jam, and its original concept was nothing more than a joke about battle royales for ants. 2 years later, it's a popular pick for fast-paced fun. Leaf Blower Revolution Idle Game. Who knew blowing leaves could be so addictive? Leaf Blower Revolution takes the concept of a peaceful afternoon in the yard and turns it into an idle game that'll have you upgrading your leaf blowers for hours on end. Your job is simple: blow away as many leaves as possible, using increasingly powerful tools and unlocking new upgrades to make the task even more satisfying. The further you progress, the more absurd it gets. What starts as a humble leaf-blowing session soon turns into an all-out revolution. The genius of the game lies in its simplicity. You start with basic tools but quickly find yourself obsessing over stats and upgrades. The idle nature of the gameplay makes it perfect for casual play. But don't be surprised if you find yourself glued to the screen, waiting for that next big upgrade. This game is the ultimate chill-out companion. Its idle mechanics are well-suited for handheld play, allowing you to make progress even when you're not actively blowing leaves. The simplistic graphics won't strain your device, and you can easily play it while multitasking, making it a great option for those laid-back gaming sessions. Leaf blower in one hand, coffee in the other, what could be better? Grim Clicker. Grim by name but addictive by nature, Grim Clicker takes the tried-and-true formula of clicker games, mixes it with RPG mechanics, and then wraps it all up in a grim, gothic atmosphere. You'll spend your time tapping away to slay enemies, gather resources, and level up, all while unlocking new abilities and gear that turn your character into a dark fantasy powerhouse. It's like if someone took Diablo and stripped it down to its clicker essence. The combat feels surprisingly strategic for a game of this genre. Sure, you're clicking, a lot, but there's a sense of satisfaction in watching your character grow from a simple peasant to a monster-slaying force of nature. The grim, spooky vibe keeps you invested as you venture deeper into this dark fantasy world. Ever find yourself clicking mindlessly but unable to stop? That's where the Grim comes in. You might just get addicted. Grim Clicker was originally inspired by the developer's love of classic RPGs, with the intent of creating a game that could be played casually, but with all the depth and charm of a full-blown fantasy adventure. Realm Grinder. Ready to build your empire from scratch? Realm Grinder is all about amassing wealth and power through the art of clicking. What starts as a humble village quickly turns into a sprawling kingdom as you unlock new buildings, spells, and upgrades. But here's the twist. You get to decide whether to rule as a benevolent leader or as a dark overlord. Your choices shape your realm, making each playthrough unique. There's a surprising amount of depth to this idle game. You can align with different factions, from fairies to demons, and each offers unique bonuses that influence how you play. Managing resources, casting spells, and making deals with the supernatural are all part of the fun. Building your empire might seem slow at first, but soon enough you'll be swimming in gold, commanding armies, and conquering realms, all with just a few clicks. The game's developer was originally inspired by classic sim games like SimCity, but wanted to add a magical fantasy twist with idle mechanics. And thus, Realm Grinder was born. NGU Idle. NGU Idle is the game where the numbers just keep going up, literally. The acronym stands for Numbers Go Up, and that's exactly what happens as you grind your way through enemies, upgrade your stats, and gain more power. But here's where it gets interesting. The game is packed with humor, making the grind way more enjoyable than it has any right to be. You'll fight ridiculous bosses, unlock absurd skills, and laugh your way through quests that don't take themselves too seriously. The deeper you go, the more layers of complexity you uncover, from stat boosts to crafting gear, and it never stops being satisfying. Whether you're a hardcore grinder or someone who enjoys a good idle game with personality, NGU Idle hits that sweet spot of depth and accessibility. The game's creator, 4G, originally designed it as a personal challenge to create the ultimate idle game. He clearly succeeded, as NGU Idle has become a fan favorite, praised for its humor and depth. Bloons TD Battles 2. Monkeys, balloons, and tower defense. It doesn't get much more chaotic than that. Bloons TD Battles 2 is the follow-up to the fan-favorite Bloons TD series, offering up more competitive tower defense action. The goal is simple: pop those pesky balloons before they reach your base, using a variety of monkey towers with unique abilities to get the job done. But this time, you're not just defending, you're up against another player, making it an all-out balloon-popping showdown. Strategy is key, as you must place your monkey towers in just the right spots, upgrade them, and counter your opponent's moves. It's fast-paced, it's competitive, and it's a blast, literally. The Bloons TD series started as a flash game back in 2007, and it's come a long way since. Bloons TD Battles 2 is the first game in the series to focus on player-versus-player action. Unturned. Survival meets blocky aesthetics in Unturned, an open-world sandbox game where you must fend off zombie hordes while scavenging for supplies and building shelters. Think of it like Minecraft, but with a focus on survival horror. You'll need to manage your hunger, thirst, and health while keeping zombies at bay and gathering resources to craft weapons, fortifications, and more. Whether you're playing solo or teaming up with friends, the challenge lies in outlasting the undead and the elements. One of the game's biggest strengths is its depth. There's a full crafting system, vehicles to commandeer, and even multiplayer modes that add to the fun. The blocky art style may seem simple, but don't let that fool you. The survival mechanics are surprisingly robust, and you'll be hooked as soon as the first zombie lunges at you. If you ever wanted to survive a zombie apocalypse, Unturned is your chance, blocky graphics and all. This survival sandbox game drops you into a world overrun by zombies, where you'll need to scavenge for resources, craft weapons, and build shelters to stay alive. The game's mix of open-world exploration and survival mechanics makes every playthrough different, especially when you throw in the unpredictable nature of zombies. Unturned was created by a single developer, Nelson Sexton, who started working on the game when he was just 16 years old. Eternal Return. Mixing Battle Royale, MOBA, and survival elements into one chaotic experience, Eternal Return is a game where you'll never know what's coming next. You pick a character, scavenge for resources, and battle it out on an ever-shrinking map. Whether you're crafting weapons, gathering food, or hunting down other players, every decision matters as you fight to be the last one standing. What makes this game unique is the combination of real-time strategy with MOBA-style combat, meaning you'll need both quick reflexes and smart tactics to win. The diversity of characters also adds replayability, as each has their own unique abilities and playstyles. Did you know that Eternal Return was originally a top-down shooter before it evolved into the hybrid game it is today? The development team made the change after realizing the potential for blending genres. Marvel Snap. Quick, tactical, and full of superhero goodness, Marvel Snap brings all your favorite Marvel heroes and villains to life in the form of a card-battling strategy game. The twist here is that matches are short and fast, with each game lasting only a few minutes. You'll need to think on your feet, assembling a deck of iconic characters to outwit your opponents and claim victory. The cards feature stunning art of beloved characters, and their unique abilities lead to some truly epic moments. Each match takes place across different locations from the Marvel Universe, adding another layer of strategy to the gameplay. The developers of Marvel Snap include veterans who worked on Hearthstone, so it's no wonder this card battler is packed with strategic depth and addictive gameplay. And there you have it, folks, the top 21 free indie games that your Steam Deck has been begging for. Whether you're grinding through a pixelated nightmare, tapping your way to victory in an idle game, or getting sucked into a haunting narrative, the indie scene has truly outdone itself. These gems prove that you don't need a AAA budget to make something truly special. And the best part? You didn't spend a single penny. So what are you waiting for? Start downloading, dive into these unique worlds, and let your Steam Deck do what it does best. Deliver endless gaming fun, even when you're on a budget. As always, let me know in the comments which games from this list you'll be playing first, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more epic gaming recommendations. Until next time, happy gaming!